What's up, everybody? Joe Carroll here, bringing you another Force of Will Conqueror deck. I played a very close build of this today, and it's a lot of fun. It's really consistent, and you get to draw a lot of cards, so that's always cool. Lots of synergy. I don't think this is anything crazy, and there's definitely going to be some decks that can deal with it. Namely, if there's anything dealing with come into play effects or graveyard hate, that would probably be pretty good. But nevertheless, let's dive into it. When I saw that Blade of Faith is no longer banned, I thought, well, I gotta build a Brunhild deck. Now, what I would really like to do is play a white-black deck and do more of a mid-range control, but the first thing that jumped out at me is if we play Guinevere in a deck that is constantly bringing things back from the graveyard, we're going to get a whole ton of value. So that was the main thing I thought of first, and this is kind of like an aggro deck but with a ton of late game. It's basically like half the deck is the New Frontiers Turbo Brune, and then the other half is like the best red cards from Wanderer, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. So first things first, we got Brunhild. She is a Valkyrie, so that'll work well with one of the runes in the deck. I play one Death Scythe just because there's some rulers you really need to be able to deal with, and in our deck we can actually kill J rulers, so that's a plus. 3 Excalibur. I wasn't playing it today, but I realized that it is good for the ramp, and also once you flip, having target attack would be nice, and being able to get Brunhild's already a 12/12, so making her like a 14/14 or 16 when if you're doing the pump and the upkeep is pretty solid. Not a lot can deal that much damage. So here's the removal. Gonna play basically the best one-drop removal cards in the game. We're gonna play 4 Lightning Strike, and then 3 Blade of Faith. If you're asking why only 3, because one of them is gonna be in the rune deck. We can play three runes in Conquer. That's the new rule. So you always have access to Blade of Faith. So that's why there's 3 in the main. And it is a rune, so that will proc some certain things in the deck. Spear the Valkyries, excellent card. It does before anyone asks, yes, it does have to deal the damage for you to gain the life, so that is important. Keep that in mind. You always control a Valkyrie because Brunhild is a Valkyrie on both sides. So so you always have access to the life gain. 1 Genesis creation just for the late game reanimation. 4 Guinevere, 4 Lancelot, 3 Acolyte of the Sun, which is a human. That's important just because we're playing the summons, and then we're also playing Dispel. You could probably switch that out for like a Ring, but being able to destroy an edition is pretty huge, in my opinion. So I think you always want access to that. And moving on, we've got Orphica, and she is great for getting the loops going with ear. She also can do some interesting things. If anyone's playing Giselle statues, not that I think that's going to be like a huge deal. It can reset the counters. Like, you don't have to target your own resonators. If they play that tree deck that goes and gets the Alice that like takes the damage for them, and you can't target them, and I forget the name. It's an Alice card though. It's like a 1919 card. You can play Orphica and remove her from the game for the turn and swing for that last damage that you need. Silly things like that. But most of the time, you're just going to be like blinking out your or your Mistletoe. That's another target you can use Orphica with. So anyway, your Valkyrie your Mercy comes into play. You get a 2-drop from your graveyard and put it into the field, which to me sounded good with getting Lancelot's. They have to like use the removal early if they don't want to die to him. He's really good pressure, and then the next turn you drop an ear and you get a 6/7 body plus a Lancelot swinging at their face. Messenger of the Sun, it's a great card. You can destroy additions with it, but every time you play a rune, you draw a card. So the 3 runes in the graveyard would proc that, and also he's a human, so yeah, you all know how that works. But yeah, like your Blade of Faith and your Spears are going to be drawing you cards when you get messengers in play. 1 Mistletoe, and then Life-Stealing Altar, because I love this card and I think it's amazing. So here's the setup. Oh, I guess we should do the stones. 1 little red, 1 fire. You want all the stones to be red because you want to first turn Gwen if you can. Little red, fire, and then just 8 red, white stones. So basically how I see the game going, turn 1, you might play like a Life-Stealing Altar, something like that. If you have Death Scythe, put it out. But typically you're going to want to get Guinevere into play like as soon as possible. And then start playing things like Lancelot. I would honestly, in some situations, probably just play Messenger of the Sun if you have to choose between Lance and Messenger, because getting this engine going is really good. But also like making sure you have the will available to make use of the Messenger is important. So it might be better in some situations to 2-drop a Lance and swing, and then next turn when you have 3 will, play a Messenger and then like Blade of Faith something away and draw a card. I don't like using Blade of Faith or Spear if I don't have a Messenger in play, unless you absolutely have to. If it's a card you just have to kill, then I'll consider using one. And you typically want to use the one in your hand before you go to your face down or rune deck, because you want to leave that for when you play Misty later on. So a lot of situations where like I was just drawing lots of extra cards and they'd go to kill something, so you can Guinevere in response, and as it goes to the graveyard you pay 1 to draw an extra card, so you draw 3 cards and then discard 1 off Guinevere. And it's awesome to be able to do that and like sack an ear, and then like the next turn you Genesis Creation ear back into play, and then you hit Orphica, and then Orphica comes into play and you remove ear, and then end of turn ear comes back and you get back like a messenger so that you can spear the Valkyries on their turn and draw a card and gain life. So yeah, there's just a lot of synergy going on. And then like late game when you flip this over, the black side you can sack, and you just have like endless, the 1 and 2 drops in this deck are just incredible. So they all do really great stuff. It's just an endless supply of dudes, and you've got some burn to finish it off if you need to. And yeah, flipping Brunhild is cool too. Typically you're gonna get like a Mistletoe, but sometimes just getting an ear is good enough. Where you can, the dream obviously is like you play Mistletoe, and then you like summon and you get back like your messenger, and then you draw, or then like they kill everything, and then the next turn you flip Brunhild and you get back Mistletoe, and then you get back ear, and then with ear you get back Orphica. Where's Orphica? There she is. You get back Orphica, and then you can blink your Mistletoe again if you have 1 more to play from your rune deck. Otherwise, yeah, with your ear, you can just get like Lancelot. So, and then swing, which is usually pretty powerful. And then you still have like a Mistletoe in an ear sitting up. Yeah, so I got keys is called quite a few times, but all it did was slow me down. Like it ended up just being, okay, I guess I played the ear and I didn't get anything else out of it. And eventually they just kind of run out of those cards, and then you just start, everything just starts triggering, and yeah, and you don't even feel bad attacking when they have like blockers that can kill your stuff, because you can just bring back an ear and then get back a Lancelot, and then pump them up and finish a swing into the guy they blocked with before or whatever. And then yeah, you don't even mind losing your Lancelots, especially if you're using Guinevere to sack him and then paying one to draw another card. So yeah, overall just a really consistent deck. It's got a little more punch to it than the New Frontiers version does, because you play the red. So yeah, my other idea was just to play something with black in it. I'm not entirely sure what all would go into it. Probably like Joan d'Arc's, because she's a 2-drop human, so she'd be a good target for like summons. But and then also play Rise of the Necromancer or something like that. That might be cool. But yeah, if you want something to start with and you want to play Brunhild and have like the best removal in the game, I recommend this. The weak spot for this is it does all the removal is targeted. Like you have to target with this. You have to target. So if they're playing things with barrier, you have a hard time dealing with that. But the way you get around it is you just swarm them. And yeah, sure, they have barrier, but like when you're playing, 3 to 4 resonators a turn, and and Lance comes out every single turn, and you constantly have like 7, 8, 9 cards in your hand the whole game, it's hard for them to keep up. Like eventually you're just gonna punch through. So yeah, other than that, I think this is a pretty solid list. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and hope you guys do. All right, just leave it up. Let me know how it goes. Comment on the video or send me a video on Facebook. All right, thanks for watching.